The Ambassadors Program is really important because just one conversation that a student may have with one of our ambassadors can be life-changing. And so we need to keep doing programs like this that can change many lives.
Hi, my name is Kim Rowell. I am an assistant editor at the BBC. I commission digital documentaries for BBC News, BBC Three and the Digital Current Affairs team. I am involved with the Ambassadors Programme at the Women of the Future and the Asian Women Awards. I won the media category in 2018, which was a massive shock, but very much appreciated. And I just think it's one of the best networks, and their ethos and mantra of kindness and collaboration, I think, is something that we could all learn a lot from. What does my job entail, and what does a normal day look like? I'm sure you've heard lots of people say this, but there probably isn't a normal day. What I do is I take the great ideas that the staff and my team at the BBC come up with, and I decide whether it's something that we think our target demographic would learn from. Our demographic itself is 16 to 34-year-olds. It's slightly skewed younger for the BBC Three audience, but we are tasked with catering for all of the audiences that the BBC gets accused of not catering for. So BAME, Instagram, outside of London, I think we're very much London-centric with a lot of the stuff that the BBC does, so we've got to take it out to the regions, and we have to kind of be mindful of all of those things when we're looking at the content that we produce. So on a normal day, I will probably be taking pictures from the team. We do accept them from freelancers as well. I also look at rough cuts and drafts and shooting scripts and sign them off or feed any thoughts that I have, help them source contributors. I also review films and give critique and edit cuts to them, and we then publish the content. So we've had some brilliant stuff come out during the pandemic, and we're continuing to try our best to do what we can during these very unusual times, shall we say. But I'm really proud of what the team has managed, considering we're all now pretty much working from home. What are the key qualifications and skills needed for my job? Well, when I started, I wouldn't have got a job at GMTV, as it was, it's now Good Morning Britain, if I didn't have a degree. I actually did a degree in broadcast journalism, but nowadays it's not really like that, to be honest, particularly within the department that I work in at the BBC. You can do a lot of vocational qualifications, so you can learn on the job. They offer an awful lot of apprenticeships, and they pride themselves on doing that. So it's more about experience, which it should be, if you ask me, particularly within the media and communications field. I think a lot of the natural skills that you have to work within media, you have to it's a little bit like politics, you have to have a bit of a thick skin. You have to be prepared to work really hard. I started as a runner, even though I had done a degree. I was pretty naive and I thought, oh, okay, here we go, we're in the big wide world now. And it wasn't quite like that. I had to start as a production assistant, and you do a lot of kind of manual handling and carrying kit and helping out a lot. And then the hard work gets recognised in most decent places, and most are, to be fair, and you progress on. You become a junior researcher, depending on what you want to do. I ended up working in TV production to start off with, and then it evolved back into journalism, which was great because it allowed me to actually use a degree that I'd earned through hard work. And just to be a good communicator, you have to be a people person, you have to know how to connect people, you have to understand people pretty well. I would also say, as a journalist, I'm quite nosy. I like to know a lot about people, and I really enjoy interviewing people as well and finding out their motivations and their backgrounds and where they've come from, and I think that's really important too.